So welcome back to the part 2 of the series, the unheard brand war between Parachute coconut oil from Marico and Nihar coconut oil from Hindustan Unilever. So in the part 1 of the series, we thoroughly discussed that what exactly caused such a ferocious brand war between Hindustan Unilever and Marico in order to secure the Indian coconut oil market back then during 1990s, and then how under the leadership of Mr. K.K. Dadi Seth, Hindustan Unilever began the onslaught of Marico in the market. So this part 2 is going to be all about the success story of Marico and how Parachute got emerged as the survivor of this ferocious brand war that was fought in 1990s by knocking down the most gignatic as well as the most powerful player of the Indian FMCG sector, Hindustan Unilever. So in case you have missed the part 1 of the series, you can check it out by clicking on the I button here, and if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notified about all the interesting as well as informative content being posted on this channel. Now, although Hindustan Unilever was quite ahead than Marico in terms of total resources and funds, but that one major factor that provided Marico an upper hand over Hindustan Unilever in this brand war to secure the Indian coconut oil market was that Marico was a pioneer player in the Indian coconut oil market since it was operating for more than 2 long decades. And during these 2 decades, Marico had already established a very strong distribution channel by achieving significant cost optimization across its value chain. Now, value chain is nothing but just a series of 5 important activities that are intended to supply the finished product to the end user. And being quite a generic process, the value chain of almost every FMCG company works in a similar way. Now, the very first step in the process of value chain is of inbound logistics, in which all the raw materials are outsourced from suppliers, laborers and vendors. Then in the second step of operations, all these raw materials are processed into finished goods. Then in the third step of outbound logistics, all the finished goods are further transported to distributors, agents, wholesalers and retailers so that they can sell them further to the end users of these products. Then the fourth step is of marketing and sales, in which the product visibility is increased among the customers in order to accelerate the sales of the product. Then comes the last step, which is after sales services. Now, it is quite a crucial step in order to establish a cordial, long-lasting relationship with the customers. Now, it takes years of hard work, years of planning and years of execution, as well as a lot of investment amount for new brands and companies to establish a strong, sustainable distribution channel in the market and achieve cost optimization across their value chain. But being a pioneer market player in the Indian coconut oil segment, Marico had already established a very strong distribution channel, which simply means that they would face no hindrances in the manufacturing as well as the supply of Parachute coconut oil to the end users. Now, to increase its market share, Hindustan Unilever was aggressively investing in advertisement as well as for the brand positioning of Nihar coconut oil. So, in order to give a tough and competitive fight to Hindustan Unilever, Marico came up with an entirely new packaging designing for Parachute coconut oil, in which they emphasized upon the quality as well as the purity of the coconuts. And then to push this new design in the market successfully, Marico initiated a huge advertisement campaign which was backed by a hefty advertisement budget. And this new advertisement campaign basically revolves around the purity as well as the sacredness of the holy coconut in the Hindu tradition. And this intelligent and innovative move by Mariwala resulted that Marico and Parachute were able to foster an emotional connection with the entire Indian masses. And in a country like India, where half of the game is already won, if you are able to secure the emotional trust of your customers, Marico again got a clear-cut breakthrough in this ferocious brand war, as just during this advertisement campaign, Marico posted a double-digit volume growth in terms of sale by reaching to more than 18 million Indian households, and during this time, their market share in the Indian coconut oil segment also got surged from 48% to 52%. Now, Hindustan Unilever was nowhere lagging behind Marico as far as advertisement and brand positioning was concerned. In fact, during the same time, when Parachute's share in the Indian coconut oil market got surged from 48 to 52%, Nihar coconut oil share also got surged from 7% to almost 15%. But if we put aside this advertisement and brand positioning aspect, then there was a one major X factor that was completely in the favor of Marico and Parachute. And that X factor was efficacy and the transparency in the scholar chain of Marico. For those of you who don't know exactly what scholar chain is, we will try to understand this concept of scholar chain quickly with a very simple example. So in all the big and multinational organizations, there exists a hierarchy of positions, or in very simple words, there are different level of positions in that organization. And usually at the topmost level, or at the most dominating position or the most biggest position, it is usually the chairman of the company. Then it is followed by managing director, other top level managers, and then other lower level managers. Suppose if an important decision is taken at the 6th level of this hierarchy, then first that decision would go up to the 5th level of this hierarchy. Then it would go up to the 4th, to the 3rd, and in this way it would go up all the way to the 1st level of this position in order to receive the clearance, the final clearance from the chairman himself. Now since Hindustan Unilever was a very big organization, it had a long hierarchy of positions, or in simple words, there were different level of positions. Now for example, suppose if an important decision pertaining to the allotment of advertisement budget was taken at the lowermost level of this hierarchy, then that decision had to go up to the topmost level while passing through all these different level of positions in order to get the final clearance from the chairman, Mr. K. Ki Dadi Seth. But in case of Marico, some of the most important decision areas were under the direct supervision of chairman, Mr. Mariwala himself, and it also includes all those decisions pertaining to the allotment of advertisement budget. So Marico was more quick in responding to the changing market environment, and it was able to reallocate its advertisement budget accordingly, which was not possible in case of Hindustan Unilever because of its long hierarchy of levels and positions. So in spite of being a comparatively smaller organization than Hindustan Unilever, Marico was able to accelerate the growth of Parachute coconut oil in the market because of the efficacy and transparency in its scholar chain. Now besides all these success factors, there was still a major loophole in the market for Parachute coconut oil. And that loophole was Parachute coconut oil had still got a very weak presence as well as lower sales level in the Indian rural market. And the reason for that was back then, rural India didn't used to have the required infrastructure that would let them witness the advertisement campaigns ran by these companies. So now in order to cover this major loophole, Mariwala again came up with a very interesting and innovative idea. So Mariwala strategically decided to create a huge rural distribution network by appointing more than 250 super distributors who were solely entrusted with the responsibility of distributing Parachute coconut oil to the wholesalers and retailers in the Indian rural market. And with this huge rural distribution network, Parachute coconut oil was soon able to reach even to the every household in the Indian rural market, and its sales levels in the Indian rural market also surged dramatically. Now all these success factors with which Mariwala had created a stage for a clear-cut victory of Parachute coconut oil in the Indian market soon started delivering positive impact, and in a span of no time, Parachute coconut oil was able to retain its position as the best-selling coconut oil in the Indian market. And not only does its sales level started rising, but soon Hindustan Unilever also stopped investing for the advertisement as well as for the brand promotion of Nihar coconut oil, since there was no scope for growth left in the market for Nihar coconut oil. And in this ferocious brand war between Hindustan Unilever and Marico in order to secure the Indian coconut oil market that lasted for more than 6 years between 1996 and 2002, Marico's Parachute coconut oil emerged as the winner, as the survivor of this brand war. One of the most fascinating investment strategies of Warren Buffett is buy commodities and sell brands. And a company that perfectly epitomizes this phrase is Marico, of course. Or should I say, it's Parachute coconut oil. Because back then during 1970s and 1980s, coconut oil used to be merely commodity in the Indian market. But as of now, Parachute is a brand in itself as well as the leader of the Indian coconut oil market. So that was all about for the success story of Parachute coconut oil in the Indian market and how Parachute got immersed as the survivor of this ferocious brand war that was fought between Marico and Hindustan Unilever to secure the Indian coconut oil market. So in case if you haven't still watched the part 1 of this series, you can watch it by going in the description. We have mentioned down the link of that video there. That's it from my side. I hope you learned something new and something amazing from this series. So stay tuned until the next time. We will come up with something even more informative and insightful. Until then, bye bye and take care.